Well, good morning. It is Wednesday, April 29th, about 10 o'clock, and time for a morning devotion. And again, it's going to come from Sunsets from God. And this one's called The Night Sky. And the verse that it relates to is Psalm 8, verse 3. And it says, I consider thy heavens, the work of thy fingers, the mountains and the stars which thou hast ordained. And so the author writes, when was the last time you gazed up into a star-filled sky on a clear night? Do you wonder what it's like to travel in the heavens among the stars? What lies beyond what your physical eyes can see? Jamie Buckingham describes the night like that in the snowy mountains of North Carolina. I walked up the dark, snow-covered road toward Cowie Bald. The sky was clear, revealing a billion stars twinkling in the sky, a cold night. The only sound was the gurgling of small mountain streams behind the road and the soft crunch of my shoes in the snow. All the other night noises were smothered, leaving me with the impression of standing alone on earth. I wondered about the time, but the glance at my watch would have been scandalous. Clocks, calendars, automobiles, and airplanes, instruments of time and speed, were all buried beneath nature's cloak of stillness and slowness. I kicked off the snow with my boots, and standing in the middle of the road, threw my head back and breathed deep for the pine-scented air. Looking to the heavens, I can see the stars whose light had left there 1,000,000 years ago, and I realized it was just a glimpse of the edge of space. Beyond that was infinity, and surrounding it all, the Creator. I remember a quote from German philosopher Kant, something about two irrefutable evidence of the existence of God, the moral law within and the starry universe above. I breathed his name, God. Then, overwhelmed in his presence, I called on God, which I learned to call him through experience, Father. Tonight, contemplate the stars in heaven. You will find there a glimpse of eternity. What an awesome thought. The Creator of the universe invites me to have a personal relationship with him. So just ask yourself that question. When was the last time you took some time to look at the stars? I know for many of you, you may live in a city and it may be hard to see the stars at night with the city lights and all that going on. But for those of us who live on the outskirts, we see stars every night. But when was the last time you stood and just looked at the awe-inspiring glimpse of what God has created? I mean, Genesis, right at the very beginning, tells us God created all of this, and it's infinite. Here's an exercise you can do. Go through and look up Google, use the Google machine, and find some pictures from the Hubble Space Telescope. And just look at the beauty and the creation that is there, and just be inspired by it. For we're just a dot, a half of a dot, in the total glimpse of this universe. And God has created all of this. And I'm going to be the first to admit, I don't do this very often. I live in a place where there's no streetlights. I can look out the skies from my windows in my living room or whatever. I can go outside and I can just look up and see the stars. I take the dogs out at night, sometimes in the middle of the night when they wake up. And I don't take advantage of that, just to look up and to see the stars. Too busy sometimes to even do that, but the magnitude of God's creation is awe-inspiring. I want us to just think about that and remember that as we go about our days. These are ways we can sit in the presence of God without hardly doing anything, just by looking at stars and knowing that God has created all of this. He created even the planet we're on. He created you. Why God created us, I don't really know the answer to all that. It's complicated. But I know God did create us. And God wants that relationship with us. So when you go out at night, take a look at the stars. Look at the moon. And just think of what an awesome God we serve. What an awesome God we can call Father or Mother or whatever adjective you want to use, whatever noun you want to use. What an awesome God that created all of this for us, I guess. God loves us. And that's the binding thing throughout all of these devotions and sermons, is that God loves us. God loves us so much, he sent his only son. God loves us so much, he created this universe for us, for others, I don't know, but God created it all. Take some time just to sit in that presence and look at the stars and just be awed by the glory of God. Amen.